Hey there, my name is Przemek and this is the review of KakofoNIKT album called Dance Epidemic Greatest Hits A.D. 1518. This is the review of Polish underground project released by Polish underground label. So I was thinking if not record it in Polish, because I don't think many non-Polish people will watch this video. But in the end I realized that consequence above all, and if one or two non-Polish listeners will try this album after watching this video, I will be more than satisfied. Dance Epidemic was released by Antera Non Grata label, specializing in highly experimental music, from noise to improvised jazz or God knows what. KakofoNIKT, I think this name is a reference to KakofoNIKT, the famous, or rather infamous, bard from Asterix and Obelix adventures. These guys, this is a duo of Patryk Lichota and Hubert Winczyk. There's also one more member mentioned here, Michał Joniec. He's responsible for Ghost Heart. I don't know what that means. Maybe he was just a guardian angel watching over the whole creative process. But those guys certainly know how to use their instruments, although sometimes the lunacy hidden in those sounds may recall the musical madness of this Gaulish bard from Asterix and Obelix. The title, Dance Epidemic, Greatest Hits A.D. 1518, refers to the collective mania when the inhabitants of Strasbourg, the city in northern France, have begun to dance in amok on the main square of the city. At least I suppose it was on the main square. One of the theories says that it has been caused by a hallucinogenic psychoactive ergot fungus, which sometimes grows on grains used for baking bread. It's a nice theory, although I wonder why it hasn't been happening more often in the history of mankind in the past. Or maybe it has, but only we don't have any written confirmations of that fact in the old writings or chronicles. Yet it would be nice to see people frenzy dance in front of your local bakery. This is not medieval music, forget about it. The integral part of this album is the sound of saxophone, and when the saxophone appears on the foreground, we can consider some parts of the album as experimental jazz, maybe even noir jazz, but far from slow and nice tunes by Boren and the Club of Gore. It has a feeling of for example, Miles Davis soundtrack from Elevator to the Gallows, or if you remember that close but very energetic scene of a jazz concert from Lost Highway with the Bill Pullman playing on the saxophone. Sometimes in the slower moments it also recalls the project the Mount Fuji Doom Jazz Corporation with those specific apocalyptic doom soundscapes. But all this jazz or experimental jazz part of the album is counterpointed by natural and synthetic bizarre rhythms, sometimes closer to early industrial, sometimes having a dance character, but close to electro, or even a breakbeat, I would say. There are also lyrics in 3 or 4 tracks, but they are quite abstract, and I don't feel competent enough to even to try to interpret them. So, as you can see, this album is quite difficult or even impossible to pigeonhole. It's very eclectic. It's interesting, but growing up slowly on the listener, like most or perhaps even all Antenna non grata releases. So you need to be very patient if you want Dance Epidemic to reveal all its mysteries. I gave it a lot of listens myself, and I still feel like I'm on the beginning of this musical journey. Um, but I think this is what defines the good, ambitious music. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.